Welcome to Tactical Truths, the playlist where we bring you the latest military news, tactical analysis, and stories that matter most to our community. Hit subscribe and join us for sharp insights and frontline perspectives. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is the Tactical Truth. Today, I'm going to have a butchers at the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Now, I know it happened a while ago, and I know loads and loads of people have had a butchers at this and had their little 5 penneth worth, and it's toed and froed between various people who've looked at it online, dissected it. The conspiracy theorists are at it, the tinfoil hat people, they're all out there, they're all having a go. I'm going to debunk a few things on here, and I'm going to give you what I think, okay, from my perspective. So let's get straight into it. Let's have a look at him, shall we? Let's have a look at him and let's see it happen. So here we go, look.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
I'm going to tell you straight away there, reaction to effective enemy fire, right? The first question people would normally ask is, when does it become effective enemy fire? Well, it became effective straight away there, because he gets slapped straight on the ear within about the first couple of rounds, doesn't he? So he's there, he's down. People have realised what's going on straight away, and they're hitting the floor, all right? So let's just play it out and see what happens now, all right? So we are now, the president, or the ex-president, has now been clouted, right? So let's have a butcher's at how it goes. Phone's out straight away, innit?
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Right, absolute chaos there. And you can probably see on the stage right now 2 or 3 different agencies all doing their own thing. People looking in when they should be looking out. Look at the geezer on the right of the screen right now, okay? What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? There's people obviously piled straight in on top of Donald. I can deal with that he's doing. He's keeping down, all right? Let's have a look. They've got to get him out of there, haven't they? They've got to get him out of there. So let's have a look how this goes.
Spare, get ready.
You ready?
Well, as you can see, it's not going, is it? It's not going. They are far too slow here. Now, I know they're waiting for the all clear to be sounded out before they move him. But for me, they need to get him down, get him tight to the floor, and get him shifted away. Because at the moment, that is our impact area. That's the area that's been hit. All right? So that's the area that we can safely assume has been wrecked, and it was seen and wrecked by the shooter. All right? So keeping him in that area is not going to do him any favours, all right? You've got to get him out of there. You've got to get him into areas that you know are safe.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
Right, you can hear him there saying the shooter's down. We're good to move, all right? Let's see how the transition goes now from being on the floor to getting him actually out of sight.
Clear. We're clear.
Again, we still don't really know what's going on here, do we?
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Right, at this stage, and we've all seen this bit, Donald Trump is more concerned about his footwear than he is his own personal safety, all right? And he's thinking about the situation that he's in. Now, he must feel fairly consoled now. He's got a shield of people around him. So he's now coming back into the Donald Trump mode, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? We've had the shaking on the floor. We've had the sort of like calm before the storm now here, before they get him out. Let's have a butchers. Let's have a really close look. He's yelling for his shoes.
Watch out.
Yeah, now this is the Trump that we know. Wait. There's a social media opportunity here, isn't there? And he knows it. He is a brand to himself. He is a massive brand to himself. Now, this is where his agents should have really gripped him. I'd be having none of that, because that's my life at risk up there as well. I'd be having none of this showing off and fist pumping and all the rest of the rubbish that was going on, all right? However Elliot's going to look on telly later on, and we know Elliot saves lives, but in this case, those agents around him need to get him out of there, and they actually appear to stop so that he can have a photo shoot. Have a butcher's. There you go, a few more fist pumps. Right at the very end there, you see a couple of women who join in late and are fumbling all over. They realise perhaps somebody should have a shooter out here. It might help if somebody has a shooter out, maybe. All right. They're fumbling for their shoes. They've got them on in all sorts of mixed bag of carry. Do you know what I mean? If you're an agent working on that thing, that weapon should come out quicker than you can draw your next breath, all right? That's the deal. That is the deal. That's what they train to do. That is what you're supposed to be able to do at the drop of a hat. That's why you're taking the dollar, and that's why you stood there protecting that man, because you can react like that. Didn't see too much of that going on, did we? No, we didn't. Right, let's have a butcher's from another angle, all right? This is looking up towards the stage now. Right, so what they're referring to someone got hit here is this is where one of the people in the crowd was hit. So the roof behind is where the shot has come from, obviously towards where Trump was stood. And in between, other people were hit. Now, it still amazes me that these people have got their heads up. And some have even got their cameras out, right? And it just doesn't seem to be too much. Some of them don't seem to know they're born in this picture. Do you know, they're just sat there. It's beggars belief for me. I'd be that low, I'd be able to get under a snake's belly with a fucking top hat on, I'm telling you, all right? And these people are still sort of like, hey, where's the ice cream? When do we get a break from this? It's rubbish, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Okay, let's have a butcher's at the shooting again. Let's just slow it down even more. Let's have a look.
The assassination attempt of Donald Trump set off a panic as the bloodied former president was surrounded by Secret Service agents and hurried into his...
I mean, panic for some, waiting for the next ice cream call for others. You know what I mean? Pull out your phone for some. I didn't see too much panic there, other than from the people that were supposed to be looking after him. That's where the panic was, because people in the crowd seem to be quite enjoying the show, if I'm honest, in some cases. All right? You do hear a little bit of screaming, and obviously other people have been hit, but I don't think that many of the people in the crowd realised exactly what was going on there.
An Associated Press analysis of more than a dozen videos and photos from the scene shows how close the shooter, 20-year-old Thomas...
Right, there's our first butchers at the shooter there. He's gone up against what is supposedly the Secret Service, what is supposed to be, you know, the most experienced, dedicated, professional outfit the America has got to offer, right? And he's made him look like mugs. Let's just have a listen to what they got to say about him.
Matthew Crooks was able to get to the stage where the former president spoke. Here's what's known so far about the shooting on Saturday, July 13th.
Check out the photo. That's sort of like, that'd be on his mantelpiece, wouldn't it? Trump will have that on his mantelpiece till the day he dies, won't he? You know, unbelievable, you know? The CIA operator to the right-hand side of him there, as I'm looking at it, or the left-hand side of it as you're there, well, it looks like he's confused as to whether he should actually smile at this point and look nice or carry on doing his job and actually get the geezer out of the way. Oh, dearie me. Chaos. Chaos is the only way I can describe the CIA or the special, whatever they want to call them, Secret Service reaction. It's just, it's complete and utter shite. Liabilities, a lot of them.
As rally goers wait for Trump, a young man is seen pacing.
We're going to have a look at it now from a computer animated perspective, all right, where you should be able to see clearly what is going on without all the screaming and shouting and buffoonery that's going on in the background.
Around the edges of the rally area, looking at the buildings and acting suspicious.
Right, from the very beginning, a young man is seen pacing around the edge of the rally area. It turns out, right, that this geezer has also got A rangefinder. There you go. That's an average thing to say to a Trump rally, isn't it? A rangefinder. Look at the clues. This was seen well before any shots were fired and well before Trump came out onto stage. And certainly while CIA or special people or whatever they want to call them, Secret Service operatives, were on their roofs doing the job that they were paid to do. Right, let's cut in again.
He was in an area to the right of the stage, outside the perimeter of the rally. At around 5:20 p.m., local law enforcement photographed a man with a backpack and a rangefinder. They radioed their concerns to other officers and circulated the photo with officers outside the security perimeter.
There you go. So you get that photograph. And I reckon, this is only what I reckon here, someone's gone long-haired, scrawny, milk bottle glasses on his face, couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. What is this geezer actually going to do? He's no threat whatsoever, and dismissed it. And if I'm wrong with that, all right, I'll publicly eat my shoes. All right, I reckon that's exactly what happened. All right, they got the photograph back at the ops desk. Look at that! What's he going to do? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're going to find out in a minute. Right, here we go.
Trump takes the stage at 6:02 to the strains of God Bless the USA. He waves and begins his regular rally speech. Spectators were seated in front of him and behind. At 6:09, witnesses spot a man climbing the roof of a one-story building, about 147 yards from the stage.
Here we go. This is amazing, right? This is actually amazing. So people have actually seen someone getting up onto a roof. Onto a roof. Now, a copper follows him up there, but because he's probably spent too much time at Dunkin' Donuts, he falls off the roof, right? He falls off the roof. Oh, nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here, folks. Just another... Where's the donut wagon? Right, listen straight. This is true.
Officer, people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people. Criminals.
A local officer climbed to the roof
Dangerous
to investigate,
people.
but fell after losing his grip.
Fell after losing his grip on his donut bag.
At 6:11, 3 shots are fired. Secret Service.
You'll notice it's only the first shot that hits him. And then he sort of like realises, oh, that's probably me being shot, which it was him being shot. Where those other 2 rounds go, I don't know. And which rounds hit the spectators, it's still not clear to me. But certainly there were shots being fired now. But they don't seem to be too accurate, do they? So for someone who went through the effort to take a rangefinder with them, get up on a roof, get into a nice steady fire position, and then rattle around it. Only his first one gets on target. Well, it's not on target, really, because it misses, but there you go.
Agents pile atop the former president. 5 more shots are fired. About 10 seconds later, a Secret Service sniper fired back with 1 shot, hitting Crooks in the head and killing him.
There you go. So that single shot here at the end is the sniper hitting Crooks. They must have had a rough idea where he was, all right? They must have had a rough idea where he was, because they've already been told there's someone on a roof. Then there's shots fired. Then 10 seconds later, there's a crack and thump going across the range. And all right, he hits him first shot, fair play to him, but that shot should have been taken a long time before any of this happened, in my opinion, right?
Corey Comparator, a 50-year-old former firefighter, suffered a fatal shot. About 1 minute after the shooter is hit, the Secret Service say he is down. Trump is taken off stage, stopping to pump his fist and yell to the crowd.
Look, they're all pointing.
There's another angle, right? This angle amazes me because these people actually see the shooter on the roof going up, bobbing up and down. He's there. He's a shooter. And they're telling people, right? There's a geezer on the roof. There you go. Would somebody sort of like to put their donuts down for more than 5 minutes to go and investigate this? You know, someone who perhaps had a bit of climbing ability? Go up there, go on. He's up there. Look, watch.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look.
Yeah,
There he is, right
someone's
there.
on top of the roof.
Right there, see him?
That's it. Look, there he is.
Yeah, he's laying down.
He's laying down in a fire position. There you go. That woman who sounds like a foghorn there, and it's probably louder than the PA system that Donald Trump's actually using for his speech. Up there! Up there! There's a man on the roof up there! He's lying down! It's a slight clue, isn't it? I find that whole scenario shocking. I don't think it's enough for me to say, well, it's a conspiracy theory. They actually wanted him to get shot, because I don't believe that for 1 second. So I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole with you today. But certainly, I think people were complacent, and I think they took it as read that man on a roof. So what? It's been the sort of like attitude that we've seen so far. Maybe they didn't see the weapon. Maybe they didn't see the rangefinder. Maybe they didn't take the rangefinder seriously. Maybe the backpack and the bike that he turned up on weren't combat indicators for them. It gets to a stage with some people where if you've got into this complacency, it's very hard to get out of. And don't forget, these people will be doing these sort of operations day in, day out. Every time Trump even gets out of bed, there's somebody there keeping an eye out for him. So the levels that you need to be kept at all the time are high, extremely high. And me personally, I think it just was a case of they dropped out. They dropped the ball. They literally took their eye off the ball. But look, listen, not for me to talk too much about right now, yeah, but we're going to go and have a look, because they had sort of like a tribunal thing where people got to ask a young lady called Mrs. Cheadle. Now, Mrs. Cheadle is the head of the Secret Service. She's experienced. She's been around the block. She's supposed to know what she's doing. Yet in America, everybody was saying, this has got to be your fault. Someone's got to carry the can for this. The buck stops with you. Let's have a butcher's at some of the stuff that was going on with her and the questions she would ask, which you would assume she'd have some pretty good answers for people, yeah? Some good answers. Let's go. Let's have a look at this.
This is Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Cheadle, I'd like to remind you that you're under oath. The site team has a senior supervisor, an advanced team, a protective intelligence team, a counter sniper element, and detail. Who was the agent in charge? How long has she been the agent in charge? And what is her Secret Service background?
So I'm not going to provide a name.
Why not?
There you go. So straight away, and I get you don't want to be given a name, but at least say, okay, we'll say Agent Alpha. Just say we call that person Agent Alpha. So we've got someone, or they've got someone to refer to, and they could have said something like, Agent Alpha was in charge on the day, and Agent Alpha has this experience, that background, has been on this and done it for so many years, blah, 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 blah. But no, it was just a straight, I ain't telling you. So that's thrown this woman already backwards, and she's going to be looking at this going, I'll tell you what, you're pushing me. So she does push it. Let's have a go.
You're here to answer our
This
questions.
forum, I'm not going to provide names of.
You stated in your testimony, you said, I am here today to answer your questions.
That is correct.
Answer the question.
I'm not going to provide names of our personnel.
The advance element coordinates with other intel or law enforcement partners, identifies threats and weaknesses at the sites and movements. We'd like a copy of the advance report. Have you brought it?
So there would have been, and it's a normal operating procedure around the world with any forces that do this sort of work, protection work, to have an advance party. Now, that advance party's timeframes should be well in ahead of anything that's actually landing on scene. So there would have been people hovering around that site 2 to 3 days, maybe even a week before the president has turned up, or the ex-president, or Donald has turned up, all right? So they would have been there, and they would have compiled a report, and they should have left no stone unturned. And, you know, the way I would have done it, I'd have probably worked from the inside out. I'd have stood where Trump is, and I'd have had a good butchers around. Where can I be seen from? That's our start, point, bang. And then start working out from there, having a look. You'd have used all the assets you had. You'd have had hundreds of assets available to you, especially in America. They got all the toys. But there was all the toys and not much noise this time, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? So they'd have had drones. They'd have been able to have access to all these places so they could have a proper look. They would have had people at their disposal who could have round the clock guarded it if they'd have felt threatened by anything. All right, so just listen to the way this pans out a bit.
Here with you today.
We will comply with the request for the documentation that has been requested.
When will that be, Ms. Cheadle? Because you should have brought it today.
I am certain that our personnel are working on obtaining all of that document.
I don't believe you, and neither do the people watching this hearing. You're not.
So just to put the record straight on this one, this is almost 9 days, I think, something like that, after the incident's happened. She knew this interview was coming. They knew they were going to be asked difficult questions, and they had a list of stuff that they were asked to provide. Here we go. This young lady, Ms. Green, has finished with her, and now we're going to move on to someone else.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to confirm there was only one counter sniper who took one shot. Is that
We had multiple counter sniper teams available
Yeah, on the
that day.
premises, but is only one took one shot? Is that correct, or only one?
Correct.
Okay.
To be fair, one shot, one kill. It was a fairly decent shot, wasn't it? It was. So I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him that. That was a decent shot. Do you know what I mean? Under a little bit of pressure by this stage of the campaign, decent shot delivered. OBE, one behind the ear, bang, it's all over. So it was a fairly decent shot. Right, this woman is absolutely full-on brutal. In fact, if she'd have been protecting Donald Trump, she'd have probably killed the bloke 3 days before he got there, I'm telling you, all right? Because she is out. She's nails. Watch this.
Questions are going to demand a yes or no answer. Do you understand?
Yes or no. This is black and white. This is straight down the middle cut. You tell me yes or no. Simple. We know that game, don't we? Yes or no.
I do.
Okay, my first question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter? Yeah.
Boom! Would you like to use my 5 minutes? I'll forgive all my questions. I'll give them away for you to write your resignation letter. Boom. I'll give it. I mean, told you, didn't I? She's good.
Was this a colossal failure?
Yes
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure? Is the question. Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a
This
terrible.
is a yes or no series of questions. Was
Yeah, there's no room for hubba bubba in here, is there? You've got yes or no. We know the rules, don't we? We know the rules. You understand the rules. She certainly understands them. But old Cheadle's struggling with it at the moment. Right, let's summarise what we've looked at today. We've seen a scrawny, untrained child take on the might and the cream of the USA and give them a good run for their money, all right? Okay, he came second best, didn't he? Because he got shot and he was killed. It should never have ever have got to that stage in the first place, and I think complacency has taken us there. I really do. I think that it's just been dismissed. I think they've just thought he was a child on a roof. I don't think they've taken anything he's done seriously until there was a crack and thump of rounds flying across that arena and Trump was on the floor with his ear bleeding. Now, their drills and skills surrounding that seem to have caught everybody out. Nobody seemed to be ready. Different agencies working on different frequencies, doing different stuff. That's always going to happen on these large events. There's always going to be people that haven't spoken to each other properly, and even if they have, there's going to be people who've forgotten in the heat of the moment what they should be doing. So that's almost sort of like that's the given, all right? The fact of this is then they did get Donald Trump out of the way. They did get him to safety. He is still alive. So on that fact alone, it was a success. Unfortunately, a man has lost his life. Okay, which is, that's an absolute the rest of the story seems to detract away from the fact that somebody did lose their life here other than the shooter. No one gives a shit about the shooter, by the way. He deserved to lose his life, but somebody else innocent to this completely has lost their life and other people have been injured, and that is a failure. Okay, but as far as it goes in the future, I think they need to have a good look at themselves. I think they need to debrief it properly and they need to retrain or adjust where applicable. And probably keep it out of tribunals like that where they're just going to get pulled apart if they're not prepared to give the answers that they know they're going to be asked. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Tactical Truths. For more military news and insights, hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay informed, stay prepared. This is the Tactical Truth.